TIFU by asking my boyfriend for a shiny Wooloo. TIFU when I asked my boyfriend to get me a shiny Wooloo. My boyfriend has been excited about the new Pokemon game for months. Apparently in the game you can go on quests and actually play the game or look for cute Pokemon. My boyfriend finally caved in and got the game after finals week, and I was really happy for him. Here is where things started to go wrong. He asked me if he should abandon actually playing the game to search for a shiny black Wooloo, some cute rare sheep thing. I said yes, it looked cute, and I regretted so much. He's caught over 1,215 Wooloos over 16 hours with no luck. Literally, the odds of having caught one 75% now based on the number he has caught. But none of those Pokemon he hasn't given me a hug in days. We had an art project which we have made no progress on. I rue the day I asked for a shiny Wooloo because I have sent him on a mission with no end in sight. Edit, my bad, he is killing them not catching them. Also, the probability checks out. Please look at my comment history. That is also his math not mine, winking face. Edit 2, thank you kind internet stranger for gold. Edit 3, my boyfriend is very amused by this post. He says he loves me very much and we have a date set up for Monday and might bake cookies tomorrow. 3. Edit 4, my boyfriend commented and said thanks for the support. TL, doctor asked my boyfriend to catch me a Pokemon and haven't received enough love and attention in days since the quest for it is never ending. This is why the Masuda method exists. Your poor BF. Get a foreign Ditto and a Wooloo and breed them. Also, let him finish the dex first to get shiny charm, it will make it a lot easier. This was not at all the story I was expecting. Not even close. Ha 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 ha, yeah, I had no idea what a Wooloo was, but I clicked into it determined to find out and expecting something X-rated. As a shiny hunter I can say that no matter how high the odds are, your boyfriend should be at about 1/682 chance of finding one. We won't stop until we get them. I, and many others, have consistently been up for about 9 hours a day hunting for a shiny. All I can really say is to hope that he gets lucky and stops. I hope everything goes alright between you and him. You don't have to catch them, you can just massacre their species. But having a lot of Wooloos is fun. Smile. My bad, he is killing them. We might name the shiny Wooloo, if we find it, after the number of Wooloos sacrificed for the cause. Please, for the sake of you and your boyfriend, require him to get the shiny charm before he decides to hunt another shiny. TIFU by going to the wrong airport and accidentally becoming an international drug smuggler NSFW. Couple years back as well. Cruising at a wholly unnatural speed to Luton Airport didn't feel right. No agitation, no constantly checking the clock and Google Maps, no imaginary thoughts of strangling the taxi driver because he's not driving fast enough. Arriving at the airport 90 minutes before departure time was an alien-like concept. For once, I hadn't left everything to the very last minute. Unfortunately didn't have my Oscar thank you speech prepared, but a banana momentous occasion to say the absolute least. With more time than Moses in the desert, I expertly chose to pair my lightly spiced pre-rolled hash zubi with an Americana, swiftly followed by hoovering down 2 zucchini. It's always funny to watch smokers when they know it's going to be their last cheesecake in a while. Cheesecake gets real emotional. So I roll into the airport, feeling like an coconut top boss, Stansted's very own Don Corleone. The holy trinity of nicotine, THC and caffeine pumping through my veins. Coconut, yeah, this is bliss. What should I do? Get a big fat Burger King or maybe pick up a book or two? Could even push the boat out and get convinced by a duty-free lady to buy an aftershave I didn't need. My imagination was drifting, the options were cheesecake limitless. Casually strolling up to the departure screen to check my gate number, something suddenly wasn't quite sitting right. Coconut, coconut, coconut. It all abruptly clicked a little too late as I felt my heart sink out of my coconut. Only in the wrong cheesecake place, aren't I? This is a cunting EasyJet airport and I'm meant to be flying with Ryanair. Zucchini was an understatement, as probably was massive zucchini idiot. Stansted Airport was an hour away by taxi and my flight departure time was also just about an hour away. Now I'm not the best at maths, terrible Indian I know, but I'm pretty sure it most definitely was not working in my favor. For butternut's sake. Why do I always do this? Why? How? Obviously rhetorical questions, but if you want an answer your guess is as good as mine. Nothing to do with copious amounts of Mary Jane I'd consumed this morning. As I frantically looked up the next flights leaving from both airports, they all costed in excess of £700, all the London Manx heading to the UEFA Cup final in Stockholm. I couldn't really afford that unless I wanted to survive on a nutritious university diet of cornflakes and water for my stay in Scandinavia. Not having many options left, doing like all respectable men do, I resorted to God and said my prayers whilst belting it to the taxi stand. There were people in the queue, but this was an emergency. So I flung myself across the back seat of the first taxi and screeched at the poor befuddled man my time-ticking bomb of a predicament. The fellow gives me the most skeptical/horrific look, raises an eyebrow, considers, and then says he thinks we can make it in time. Of course he cheesecake does. He's happy to take my money for a lost cause. What a cheesecake. I was starting to feel the pressure, if you couldn't tell. Whatever, at least we were on our way. The next hour consisted of what I was trying to avoid earlier: Google Maps, watch. Google Maps, watch. Eventually we get to Stansted 10 minutes before the scheduled flight departure time, shout a thanks at the driver and proceed to sprint top speed into the airport. Never really a wise idea for an unshaven brown man, not least the day after the Manchester terror attacks, but I had no option. Screech around the corner, and our coconut, my worst nightmare. The queue is pretty long and coconut windy. Deterred, channeling my inner Lewis Hamilton, I slalom past the first bunch of commuters, less elegantly bundle past a couple more people, mumble a few apologies, under a few barriers, around a few others. Only one more row to get through. When from out of nowhere, well, not exactly out of nowhere because he was 6'5" and a beast, he probably needed panoramic mode to take a selfie, this random fuckface blocks my path. I step right, he leans right, I go left, he leans left, I try to sell him the dummy but he blocks again. He must have done karate as well. I quickly realize what kind of party it is. If I have to wait in the queue, so do you, says the hater. I try to quickly reason my flight's about to depart, please let. He cuts me off mid-sentence. I don't care, mate. Zucchini, I think my blood boiling with rage, but there was nothing I could do to get around him and the doubts were starting to creep in. To waiting for the most excruciating minute of my existence behind this dream-sucking moron. An opportunity from the gods miraculously presents itself, as if he was listening to my earlier mentioned prayers. As he looks the other way, I dart for freedom under a newly opened barrier. By the time he sees me and roars his disgust, it's too late. I'm already putting my bag through scanner. So long, sucker. I hope you choke on some of this curry-flavored dust, pal. Checking my pockets whilst walking up to the security guard, I feel something squidgy in my back pocket. Coconut. I immediately know that's my coconut 1/8 of hash. Can't believe I forget to leave it at home. It's too late to throw it on the floor or turn around as the security guard already has his beady eyes locked on me. Mortified by my stupidity, I jitter forward with a little poop in my pants. He seems suspicious. I blame the panic on being late. He looks me up and down and nods to move on. The relief is banana immense. But suddenly the realization that Stansted is the stupidest airport in the galaxy hits like Tyson in his prime. Commercial shops combined with banana slow-walking imbeciles everywhere. That's how they control the masses. Zucchini, you capitalism. Hate you all. Glance up at a screen and it's 4 minutes to departure time. I put my head down and run as fast as I can, but my saggy jeans start to ride around my thighs. I had sacrificed putting my belt back on for more running time. Another poor life gamble lost. Unrelenting, one hand clutching my waistband, one hand on my pocket to stop everything falling out, I charge like Chucky on a chase. I'm pretty sure my bag smashes into some poor kid's head. I hear some dad's background abuse, but nothing was going to stop me, not even this bloody stitch. Okay, coconut, I underestimated you, coconut stitch. Actually have to stop and peel over, only 3 zucchini gates away from the promised land. After catching my breath, I muster whatever energy I have left to claw myself to the gate just as they are shutting the barrier exactly on departure time. Who's the granddaddy of leaving things to the last minute? And the best bit of it? I don't have to spend the first 2 days in the ghetto finding some dodgy looky African man to buy some highly dubious quality weed. Sometimes it pays to be a gazer. Actually, all things considered, I must be a bloody genius. TL, doctor went to the wrong airport, made it eventually to the correct one but forgot to take the weed out of my pocket and smuggled it through international customs. This is a whole lot of queue jumping. In the UK, karma will come for you, sooner or later. I don't care about the drugs thing. Not sure about airports in London, but over where I am at, 4 minutes to departure would have meant that the plane would already be on the tarmac ready for takeoff or at least waiting in queue for takeoff. It's like you were also high while writing this. Clapping hands. Couple years back was probably a legal safety clause. He's on the airplane right now and flying at about 120% of the plane's altitude. Jesus dude. Here I am constantly looking at my watch and getting nervous if I'm at the airport only 90 minutes before departure. Yeah. Boarding starts 30 minutes before. Some airline won't check your bags if you show up less than an hour before the flight. I had a friend complaining because they showed 45 minutes before their flight and didn't make it to the gate in time. He just couldn't understand why the gate agent didn't just hold the plane and reopen the jet bridge to them. Flying is easy, people. Show up early. You can play on your phone while taking a butternut at the airport just as easily as you can at home. This reads like it's not real. TIFU is mostly autobiographical fanfic written like it's meant for a creative writing class. TIFU by telling my family my wife was going to die. So, most of my family uses iMessage for communicating via their iPhones, while my brother and I use Android phones. I specifically use Textra. My sister has recently had a baby, and sent a group message out to everyone of said baby, dressed in her Christmas clothes. Very cute. My wife, despite the 2 young children we already have, is permanently desperate for another baby to play with. Flippantly said wife name is going to die. As in, wife name will die with excitement when she sees that photo. The problem is, that Textra, although it receives the message as a group from the iMessage sender, the reply goes out to all the members of the group, as an individual message. So my entire family received a message from me, not in the context of the group chat, saying wife name is going to die. You should also know that my darling wife has been battling stage 4 cancer for the last 2 years, and while it appears we may have the upper hand on it, it's still touch and go as to if she is in remission/ned. So with that context, every single member of my family proceeded to blow up my phone immediately with "Oh my god, what happened? Call me." Messages and phone calls from everyone, while I sat there wondering what in God's name happened to make them all panic. Until I realized, oh, that was me that caused them all to panic. My wife and sister think it's the funniest thing they've heard all year. My mum is less impressed. TL, doctor, I told my family my cancer-fighting wife was going to die with a lack of very important context. That's the type of story that will be funny for years to come. Considering his wife's condition, let's hope for that. When my wife got pregnant, my idea for the pregnancy announcement was to gather the family together to tell them about a growth in her abdomen the doctors found. She only had a couple of handfuls of months to live before her life was over. At which point I showed the ultrasounds. It didn't go as well as I thought it would. Laughed though, so whatever. You know what, I got a proper chuckle out of that. They found the tumor in her abdomen less than a week after she gave birth to our second kid, so your story is incredibly right on the money. If we ever do have a third, unlikely, but you never know. Hi everyone, we've got some serious news. The mass in her belly is back, and it's growing again. They're calling it Samuel. Or that really make my mind blow. Your family is so cute. Also, shout out to the battling cancer. You both are so strong. You will get through this together. My best wishes for you guys. I was frantically typing a group message to everyone as fast as I could to try and explain WTF happened, even while I was still trying to wrap my head around it. Glad it was such an innocuous message in the context. I mean, Jesus. I guess sending a cheesecake link to everyone on your contact list and claiming you were hacked won't work here. Either way, laughter is good medicine, so keep the minor cheesecake ups happening to keep wife name laughing. I got a gentle smack on the back of the head when I picked her up from work. I had a similar issue with Textra, fixed it by disabling split long SMS messages in settings. Zooms edit, and group messaging in settings should be set to chat. Yep, just found that overlooked setting.